Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I want to take a blade that looks like this. This is my Kershaw Blur S30V and I want to make it look like this. This is my Gerber flat iron in D2. These come extremely high polished and I did not like that. While I liked everything about this knife, I did not like that high polish finish on it, so I decided to do something different, and I love the way this turned out so much I figured I'd do it some more to more knives. So today we're going to do a stonewash finish on our S30V Blur. Let's get started. Okay, so let's quickly go over things that you're going to need for this project. You need your knife blade, obviously. Disassemble your knife, take just the knife blade out. Any thumb studs or anything, remove them as well. Of course, you're going to need the tools in order to do that. So I've got a T6 and a T8. I'd suggest a thread locker blue 242. You'll need a marker so you can mark off the blade where you're going to be putting this nail polish. You're going to want a nail polish. Any brand will work. And then you're going to use the marker to mark up where you're going to be painting. You're going to need some kind of wood string or I'm sorry, wood stick or something, like a pencil or something. I'd suggest wood anyways. And I'm just using a chopstick. And you're going to need some kind of string or something. I've got jute twine here, knife lube for when you're putting it back together, some kind of knife lube. I've got nano oil here. You're going to want a cloth so you can be wiping off your knife and cleaning it off. You're going to need some kind of sharpening system. You're going to need acetone, ferric chloride. This is the one that I used and it works really well. It's found on Amazon for about 12 to 15 bucks. And it's, yeah, that's the medium we're going to be using today. You're going to want a plastic bottle with an opening on top that's big enough to put your blade in, to suspend your blade down into the solution. And inside the plastic bottle, you're going to want to get some rocks. I just got some rocks from my garden. And then you're going to just want to put some water in it with some dish soap. And I mean, the amount is pretty arbitrary, but I put in enough to cover the rocks. You're going to need a plastic cup to rinse the acid solution off when you're done etching. You're going to need water. I mean, this is water I'm drinking, but just to represent water, you're going to need some water. Tap water's fine. And you're going to need a plastic container that's tall enough to put the blade all the way down into the solution. And this is what you're going to put your solution into. And as you can see, I already have my solution mixed up. We'll go over the mixing solution in a minute, but I just wanted to show off this container because I am going to be reusing the same solution that I made before. You can actually use this for a long time, so I'd suggest getting a container with a lid. That's an old ice cream container and it works perfectly fine. So now let's get over getting this mixed up. Okay, so once you've found a plastic container that can fit the knife that you're wanting to acid etch, fit the blade, I would suggest getting one with a lid so that way you can save the solution and do this again later at another time. Once you do that, you want to figure out how full you want to get it. I would probably measure with just a measuring tape even, just figure out where kind of 3/4 of the fill line between empty and how full you want it. And then fill it up with water to that, and then fill up the rest with the ferric chloride. I would suggest doing that instead of pouring water into acid, because you know the potential to splash it and get it on you, and it's very caustic. Once you mix the solution, I just put the lid on it and I kind of just swirled it around, I don't know, 10 seconds and mixed it up, make sure it was mixed, and that's it. And now the solution is ready to be used. So the next thing you're going to want to do is paint your knife. I painted up the areas that would be impacted by the washers or the speed safe mechanism inside the knife, and the travel for the detent. I didn't want that to be damaged as well, but since it's only on one side, this side's only the speed safe bar and the pivot, and then of course this side. And then I didn't want any etching on the contact with the lock bar, so I painted over that too. I want to keep that as clean as possible. So then it's dry. I just let it dry. It took, about an hour. And because I used a decent nail polish, it really was easy to do. It just was one quick paint and it's kind of thick. So yeah, anyways, got that done. And now we'll tie it up with some string and get to etching. I'm just going to open it up. Make sure you're wearing some gloves. This stuff won't go through plastic, but it'll tear through your skin. It's very caustic. All right, I'm just gonna take it like this. Kind of put it kind of more centered in the stick here so it'll sit, and then I'm just gonna dip it down in it, just like so, making sure that it's completely submerged in the solution. And that's it. And I'll just set the lid on it just to kind of keep it there. Yep, just like that. And I'll set a timer and we'll check it in 20 minutes, and then we'll check it in 5 minutes. All right, so I don't know if you could tell, but after 20 minutes, it's gotten a really nice gray color. It's looking really good. So now we're just going to let it soak. I think I'm gonna do it for about 10 more minutes and call it good. So I'm gonna put it back in here very slowly, just so I don't want to splash it out. It's already wicking out because of the string I chose. The twine it's causing it to wick up and out, which is unfortunate, but that's just what happens. You can use a different type of material, or next time I'll set it up a little differently, but that's okay for now. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes. I was gonna check on it every once in a while, but I got onto some conference calls. Oh yeah. Yep, that's exactly what we were looking for. So as you can see, it's kind of like this darker gray, which is good. Some of that's gonna wipe off. It's not gonna be just like this, but it's a nice even color. So now we're gonna take this. I'm gonna just roll it so it'll shorten the string a little bit, because I'm gonna dip it right in that water and rinse it out. Put it down in here. Swirl it around in the water. I have a towel right here. I'll lay that blade right there and then wipe the blade down. And so once you wipe it all down, I mean, a lot of it's gonna come off. Now I could clean this up. I mean, you can see where there's like stroke marks and stuff. And I could clean that all up and make it look more solid, almost like a full solid color, sharpen it up, and then that's okay. However, and it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it'll scratch first time I use it. So what I like to do is stonewash it. Give it the scratches, and that way you have a little more control of the scratching, and it's even chaos, I guess. Okay, so now once you've got your blade to a good color, that's gonna look really good stonewashed. I can't wait. You want to get a container that has a lid. I had to change my container. The other container just barely didn't fit. There was just enough notch to where it just barely wouldn't fit into the top of the lid. So I just switched containers, but it's the exact same stuff. It's just rocks from the garden, water up to just to cover the rocks, some soapy water, I guess, or some soap in the water. And then I've tied the blade back onto a clean piece of string after I've rinsed it off. I haven't taken the nail polish off yet. And then I'm just gonna drop it down in here just like that. And then, since this is an old water bottle, I'm just gonna pass it up through the mouth, the string up here, and screw this on. I do everything backwards because I'm left-handed, I swear. Okay, and then I'll just have a little piece of the string sticking out just so I can kind of get it. Then I'll put it like that, and then I'll tilt it sideways like this. Now I'm going to swirl it around in a slow pattern like this for 1 minute. I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, I swirled it around for 1 minute. Take this out, screw this. Very soapy. Oh, and then for this I have a new clean towel. Pull my knife out, wipe it down, just take a quick look at it. It's barely getting scratched up, just barely. So we will put it back in, down some more. Oh yeah, that's gonna look good. Then we'll put it back in. It's probably gonna need to tumble for probably 5 minutes. I'll check it every minute. Instead of checking it over and over and over again and pulling it out, I will just let you know the final results. But that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna check it every minute, and I'm gonna tumble it, and then I'll check it, and I'll tumble it. I'll do that over and over until it's done. And there it is. This was after 5 minutes of stonewashing. I could have went longer, but I kind of like the worn out, but not completely worn out look. I can add my own scratches that I see fit, but I love, love, love the way this turned out. It looks great. So now all I gotta do is sharpen it up. I'm gonna use my Spyderco triangle sharp maker to sharpen it up, and then I will clean it up and get the knife reassembled. But yeah, it looked great. And here it is. Now we have a Kershaw Blur with a heavy stone wash blade. Ready to take on the world, sharpened, ready to go. This thing is nice, I'm loving it. Put a tritium thumb stud on it so that you can see it in the dark. I don't know if you can see that little green glow in there, but yeah, at night it's pretty bright. Anyways, yeah, turned out great. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for coming back and checking it out, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks.